Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amber Westbrook and today I'm making a double-sided corduroy and denim corset with a denim binding and snaps down the front. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in learning how to make or just, watching me make for funsies, keep watching. Let's get started. Okay, so basically I just start on my dress form, and yes, I am a lazy bum who works in my robe with messy hair, and I am drawing out all of my pattern pieces on the floor because it is comfortable and I do a lot of work on the floor. Call me weird, I know, it's strange. It is what it is. I am just pinning all of my muslin fabric onto this dress form. I ended up only having one dart, so I moved that dart later, you'll see in the front. But I'm just draping the front and back. There's a lot of draping tutorials out there, but really it's just super easy. You kind of just make the darts on your mannequin where the halfway points of the halfway points, so I guess the quarter points would be, and then you make sure everything is going to fit together. And I usually make like a dummy pattern before I make my final pattern, but today I was, feeling a little bit lazy, so I ended up just marking all of my darts and doing it right on my regular fabric with this pattern. But here, as you can see, I'm taking that fabric and I'm just using this like tracing tool, and I'm making all of my pattern pieces onto paper now. And I mean, it's kind of funny to me, but at first you can see I'm being all careful with the curves and stuff. By the time I get to the end, I'm literally just like drawing it on there and don't even care because I got lazier and lazier as this project went on. So here I did make a couple of weird mistakes and I'm now trying to fix them, and then I realize here that yeah, I think I'm gonna take out that bust dart. So you can see here I just say forget the ruler, I'm just gonna wing it, and I literally just freehand where I was tracing because I'm like, you know what, I got a pretty straight hand, I'm an artist after all, I can do this. But yeah, I realized, oh yeah, that bust dart is not what I want at all. So after I cut this out, I actually end up putting it on another piece of fabric and slicing it open and closing up that dart because I only want to go up and down because it's a corset and not a bustier top. So yeah, that was my bad. I really should have draped it that way, but you can always fix a flat pattern even after you make it, so that's the lucky part. So yeah, here you can see with my pink camo leggings, I am tracing out this piece onto brown pattern paper, and once I trace it, I'm going to move the bust dart in all the way to the bust point, which is going to be all the way over to this line, because this line goes through the bust point, and then I'm going to slash and spread this pattern so that it has no side dart at all. So basically you just cut, and now I'm going to tape this down where it is, and I'm just going to kind of true up those edges so that they're nice and smooth, and hopefully when I sew this all together it will be perfect just the way that I want. And of course I have to have all of my pattern pieces matching on this other paper. If they were all brown paper I'd be cool with that, but they all have to be the same because otherwise I'll get super confused. So yeah, this is now my new side piece with no bust dart. Ah, look at me. I am actually going back in with my rulers. I'm so inconsistent, you guys. Just try and stay consistent and don't follow my lead on this exact part because I just cannot stick to a narrative, I swear. Okay, so now that I have all of my pattern pieces, I want to make this reversible, so I'm going to cut it out of two different pieces. I'm going to cut it out of denim fabric that I have, and this denim actually has a tiny little bit of a stretch, but not much, because I really didn't want stretch fabric because the corduroy that I'm using is not stretch at all. So I just tried to make sure that I found a denim that did not have a lot of stretch. And you can actually make this out of old jeans. I do have a bunch of old jeans, but I'm saving them for another project that I'm making, so that's why I'm making it out of this scrap denim that I have that I found at a store that sells like fabric that they don't use anymore, like the offshoots of what they were going to use for production and then they didn't, so it's still somewhat recycled. Once I have all my pieces cut out, I'm just going to sew them together, and guys, I didn't really show it here, but yeah, I sewed a couple of the pieces wrong the first time around, and then I had to go back to all my patterns and like figure out where they all went, so that was super fun and confusing, and I just love sewing projects more than once. But yeah, once I've sewn all the front pieces together and all the lining pieces together, I'm using my sewable boning. So I'm sewing along both edges of this boning, and I'm sewing it on the corduroy side because it's the side without stretch. So I figured it would be a little easier, and I'm leaving like 1/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom so that I can sew my binding around the edge of that. Then I just go in and I'm actually sewing down the seams of my denim so that it has that decorative line on either side of the seam, on all of the seams on the denim side of it. Once that's done, I just sew a binding. If you guys don't know how to sew a binding, I didn't catch the first part of this because I messed up like 5 times and I got really frustrated, so I didn't actually film it. But basically, you just sew it to one side, wrap it over the other side just like you would a quilt, and then I sewed a top stitch on the denim side. Once that was done, I just used these snaps from Amazon and the little snap creator, and I put them on both sides so that they would be reversible, so no matter what side you look at the corset, it's going to snap together. And here is the final result. I think it turned out super cute. I definitely plan on wearing this over stuff because I love the layered corset look. And also it hides like all of those imperfections that I really don't like to see. So I think it looks great on both sides. I'm a huge fan. I paired it here with just like a white button-down shirt, and I absolutely love it. If you guys are interested in making this, please tell me how it goes. Tell me if you have any improvements or if I messed mine up. I would love to know. Leave me a comment, hit that subscribe button, and I will see ya in the next video.